Thank you very much, Nancy Cordes. Our coverage will continue.
We want to stay with these pictures here because we are watching as a sitting member of Congress, a member of the Republican majority, has been shot
in the hip
at a
baseball field.
Yes, at a baseball field.
Alexandria, Virginia.
Go ahead, Charlie. Yeah.
Shot in Alexandria, Virginia. We've seen him being evacuated. We do not know if there were any other members of Congress injured. We don't know the name of the suspect who is being held, we believe. We're trying to figure out more details about that. Certainly, whether there were any other people or what the intent was of the person doing this. Still, as always in these circumstances, there are a lot of things that we do not know. We do not know all the questions that we've talked about. Also, there are a lot of, as you can see, police officers on the scene now trying to ascertain the facts that we're looking for answers.
Charlie, we're going to go back to Nancy Cordes. Nancy?
Gail, I can tell you that a number of members of Congress are going to be stunned and devastated to hear that Steve Scalise was injured in this incident. He is well liked. He is a longtime leader here on Capitol Hill. As you mentioned, he is the House Majority Whip, but he has held a number of leadership positions here on Capitol Hill. And of course, this is going to bring up terrible memories of the shooting of Gabby Giffords, Congresswoman from Tucson, Arizona, in her home district back in 2011. She is still recovering from the injuries that she received in that shooting as she just went about her daily job as a member of Congress, meeting with her constituents. And so this is something that is going to absolutely stun members of Congress, their aides, who typically feel free and comfortable to go about the community and do things like practice baseball or meet with constituents or go to the grocery store, feeling that they will not encounter any kind of danger along the way.
Nancy, one of the interesting things, and we haven't confirmed this, is that the gunman fired at least, it is reported in some places, 50 shots, more than 50 shots, and that perhaps at least 5 people might have been hit. We're looking to ascertain the accuracy of all these numbers.
And so that raises the possibility, obviously, Charlie, that there are other members of Congress or their aides who were involved in this shooting and who are being treated either at the scene or at area hospitals right now as well. Just to recap, this was a early morning baseball practice for a traditional event that is supposed to be a lot of fun. Democrats and Republicans go after each other every day here on Capitol Hill, but this was an event that is supposed to sort of ease the tension. It's the annual congressional baseball game between Democrats and Republicans. It's been going on for more than 100 years now, so this is something that members and their aides look forward to, and is a time when everyone here on Capitol Hill can kind of come together and have a good time.
Nancy, we're hearing from our sources that the injured include 2 Capitol Hill police officers, the gunman and Congressman Steve Scalise, as we've mentioned, possibly hit in the hip, but he seems to be okay. Nancy, do you have any idea if there was any kind of crowd there? We keep hearing that the shooting happened in the dugout. Were there people actually watching a game? Were they just practicing?
They were just practicing, and so it's hard to say whether they had drawn a group of onlookers or whether you just had members and their aides, and now apparently some members of the Capitol Hill police team there as well. So we just don't know how many people at this point were practicing and exactly how many of the people who were there came into the line of fire.
Nancy, describe the security that a member of the Republican leadership or even the Democratic leadership would have from the House.
They have more protection than your average rank-and-file member of Congress. They have typically a security detail that includes a driver wherever they go. They often have at least one security staffer sort of lingering in the background. If you're talking about the Speaker of the House, he's got an even larger security detail. So someone like Steve Scalise would have had at least one member of his security detail there with him, someone who probably would have driven him to that practice.
All right, Nancy, stand by. I know you're doing some reporting as well. The president's press secretary, Sean Spicer, tweeting out that the president and the vice president have been informed Major Garrett is at the White House. Major?
Yes, that's what we basically know, Nora, that the press secretary has let the country know that in this volatile situation, the president and vice president have both been informed, and the White House is monitoring the situation. I can tell you here at the White House itself on Long Pennsylvania Avenue, the Secret Service has significantly and visibly tightened up security, we are told, in reaction to the events in Alexandria, Virginia. That is not unusual for the Secret Service to sort of push out the perimeter around the White House when anything like this happens in the nation's capital. Other than that, we have very few details. The Vice President, Mike Pence, of course, knows Steve Scalise very well, the House Majority Whip, who was injured in this shooting at